Well, hello everyone. A very good morning. Today we are at day 29. Only 2 more days to go for this into our challenge to finish. Just 2 more days to finish. We are in fact on the third last day. So today's prompt. So let's explain a little about today's prompt here. So when you talk about it's something that when you typically say you say when something goes wrong. Right. For example, when you spill juice on your clean white shirt, or let's say you stormed on, you were walking and you just stepped on dirt. You stepped on cow dung, for example. So, and then say it's nice, clean shoes, and you're like, oh, right. So you see, hello, Krishna, good morning. Hello, Manu, good morning. So you say, typically when something has gone bad, right? When something has gone wrong, and something is a little off. So today, what I have chosen is a person holding a gun point straight at you, like someone holding the gun at point blank. Now that's certainly a troublesome moment, right? Now that's certainly a moment to worry about when you suddenly see that someone is holding a gun at you. So that's exactly why I have chosen today's oh. So if you're here, if you're present, drop in a comment oh and let us begin. We started off a little late, but we will be completing with a bang. Of late, we've been progressing with each drawing. We've been progressing. If you look at yesterday's drawing, that is a very complicated one. The one before that too, even the one before that. So we've been, what do you say? With every drawing, we've been progressing. We've been challenging ourselves. We've been pushing ourselves, and that's the agenda here too. So today, I'll show you how you can bring in this angle into the gunman, how you can present this perspective and everything. Okay. So the first thing that I want to know, first thing is I want to divide the page into two half. Okay, so first is, yeah, this is the top and the bottom of the sketchbook. Okay, so I have the position ready, right? The top and the bottom. So you can see that the pretty much the top and the pretty much the top and the bottom, I can see that here. Okay, then the next thing is I want to divide this into two half. Hello, Pooja. Good morning. Hello, Mahita. Good morning. Yes, we have all our regular members here. Attendance, marking attendance. Okay, so now first I have the position set. Then the next thing is I want to set where the head is going to come, where the rest of this is going to come. See, the body will be, in this one, the interesting thing to notice, the body will more or less be at the center. Okay, I'm leaving a small gap for the boundary here as well. So for this one, I'll leave a gap for the boundary. For here also, I will leave a gap for the boundary. So leaving enough gap. I'm leaving enough gap for the boundary. So leaving enough gap for the boundary. Now the interesting thing to note is how much space I'm leaving. So I'll leave enough. I'm leaving. This is where the body is going to start. See, notice at the center. I need to mark the pivotal points. Okay, where the body is going to start, it's at the center. Then, but the head, on the other hand, when it comes, it's not going to be at the center. It's going to be towards the right side. You can see that the head is actually leaning. So the head position is going to be towards the right side. Okay, that means it's going to be leaning. Right, so these things are to be noted. So let me just mark the position for the head. Now, when you're drawing the head, start off with a freehand circle. In fact, you can just practice just drawing freehand circles as a warm up. It's early morning our hands can get a little rusty, and you want to just start off with just this one. Okay. So we start off. Okay. And then the head is never a circle, it's a circle combined with a cone. So now the head is, what do you say, it's at the side, and it's so you can see that there is a slight angle, there is a slight slanting here. You can see that it is slightly slanting towards one side. So now this is the basic angle I have established. Note that I have positioned the head slightly slanting here. Now this is very important to see that the head is slightly angled and it is in such a position. All right. Then now the body is at the center. I can draw a center line. Just mark that this is how the body is going to come. I can mark the center position. Let me just add a little bit of volume here. So add a little bit of volume here. The person looks skinny but menacing. Right. So you want to add a little bit of the features. So here the body is going to come here. Okay. And then as for the rest of the features, guys, let's just a minute. Let me just get some grab some water. Okay, so you guys can adjust, you guys can correct. Just try to bring the slant on the face. Notice that the face is not straight, it is slightly slanting. I'm bringing the adjustment on the slant on the face with this position. Just try to correct this position. I'll just be back. Hello everyone, we are back. Sorry about the slight delay. Let's continue. Without any further waiting, let's just continue. Okay, so I have drawn the person, the head here. I've drawn this. Now I want to start drawing the shoulders. So let me position the shoulders here. Like I'll start by positioning the shoulders here as a round here. So I know that this is the head. The neck will come here, followed by the collar. Okay, this is the collar. And this is the this is where the shoulders are going to come. Now I want to draw. Now the most interesting feature here is of course the arms and how we are going to position the arms here. So if you look at this is coming in perspective, as in these arms, it's pointed towards you, and you want to bring that sense of depth in this person. Now imagine if this my fist is pointing straight towards the camera, right? As I have held it, it's pointing straight towards the camera, and actually this appears bigger, this appears enlarged, this appears exaggerated. And the same thing happens when something is held very close to you. Okay, when someone is, let's say, someone is keeping a clenched fist very close to you and in front of you, then again you see that it's enlarged, it is big. So this is the kind of look that you want to get. Okay, so now how can I develop that kind of feel into this, that kind of look and feel into this? Firstly, I have the body, I have the rest of this ready. Next is, instead of starting to draw from here, draw from this edge, draw from this big edge that you're seeing here. So the position of the fist roughly can be here. Notice that it's going to be big. Okay, as it is going to be big, like I'm positioning the fist edge, one of the fist edge to be here. Okay, and the position of this is almost going to be the center. It's going to be very close to the face. What you want to look for is the position of the fist with respect to the face. Okay, you want to look for the position of the fist with respect to the face, and you also want to look at the size, the approximate size of this. So for example, here I can have the size here, and the size of this is going to come almost half of this. Okay, so this round is going to come almost half here of this. And I've held this. See, now this doesn't look like much. Now this looks like a hammer. This looks like a little hammer. But that's the base. That's the base structure from which we'll be working. We'll be starting to work. Okay, so right now this looks like a little hammer, and the rest of this is where the gun is going to come. So the gun also I can just approximately just set it here. Just draw this large shape here. Okay, just draw this really large shape here, because the rest we'll take care. We'll take care of the rest as it comes. Okay. Then the rest of this is going to be the gun. So I can just draw the rough shape for the gun here. So the position for the gun, okay, is going to be the position for the gun. I'm just drawing this shape here very rough here. If you look into the details, it's good. It's rather detailed. But I'll just draw the set positions here. Okay, this is the basic shape here. Now I want to, now is where the most of the details and the other work is going to come. So I have the shape, I have the gun, I have the fist. Now the rest of this is going to be, I'm going to draw this such that whenever you're drawing something in perspective, always remember that as it goes further away. Okay, so let's say here is a block. Here is a block. Now imagine this is in and a 3D block. Imagine if this is in perspective, like you, this is how you would see it. Okay, now when you're seeing this from the top, you see that they have parallel sides. You see that it has parallel sides. You see that it has parallel sides. Now when you look at this, you see that this has parallel sides. But when seen from this angle, this perspective angle, you will see that these parallel sides tend to recede towards a common point. So that's the same thing for this as well. Like these arms, when you see, you'll see that they tend to get smaller and they tend to recede towards a common point. So for example, these arms here, they will go and they will tend to recede towards this point until I finally reach the shoulder and I detail the shape. See, we only drawn a round for the shoulders, but now we are going to correct it. Another thing to note is that everything that is nearer to the perspective line to my eyes, as I'm seeing, will be exaggerated. When I'm seeing something in perspective, everything that is close to my eyes will be exaggerated. So for example, you will see that these arms here, he's wearing a shirt, and then there is a small gap, a small hole here between the hands and the shirt. That is really only between the gap and the shirt. So now notice here how we have exaggerated this. How we have exaggerated this hole here, the size of this hole. See, we made this bigger. We made this bigger. And that is it. See that? See, now I have this arm here, right? What happened? Kind of finding it difficult to follow in this position. Camera. So the problem is YouTube doesn't like me to hold this. YouTube doesn't like me holding this in this position. See, you put your phone in horizontal mode. You put your phone in horizontal mode. That's the best I can say, because if I position this in vertical, immediately the problem is YouTube doesn't like it and it keeps asking me to rotate the device. I can zoom in and I can, what do you say? You can keep your phone in horizontal mode. That's the best I can say. Yeah, like I mean, for our Zoom sessions also, we hold the book in horizontal mode only, right? So it's okay. And then see, now notice here, as these clothing comes over the shoulders, we are going to slightly just make this slightly bigger. We're going to make this here. I'm going to make this slightly bigger. Right? So now here's this. See, notice this arm. So it's all of this with respect to the head, the angle. It's all of this coming together that this shape is really going to, this is really going to shape up. Now let me draw a little bit of the fist here, the details along the fist. So see, when you want to draw the fist, you want to get the fingers and all of that correct. Drawing fingers is no joke. Drawing fingers is in fact one of the most challenging parts of drawing. When you want to draw fingers, it gets most difficult. So now how can we draw this? How can we draw fingers here? See, start by dividing the palms. So first is you want to divide this in this way. You want to divide this in this way. This is the region where the fingers are going to come, and this is the region where the knuckles are going to come. Okay, so you want to add the knuckles here. Add the knuckle here. Then here you want to add the knuckle here, making this nice and round and sharp. Like you want to make the knuckles look strong. Like he's a fighter, so you want to make it look like if you got a knuckle to this, if you got punched by this knuckle, you'd be knocked out. Then the second thing, first is you want to divide this into finger area, knuckle area. Second thing is you can divide this finger as different fingers with just these cuts here. So for example, here I have the little finger. I can divide this into different fingers here. So now the first basic thing is I've divided this into 4 parts. So here notice how this is the smallest. Not 4 equal parts, 4 parts. You want to note that while these 3 fingers are more or less on the same side, this alone is slightly smaller, just slightly smaller. So we divide this accordingly. Then we can get into the small nuances here. For example, you can divide this into lines here. You can show these lines here. You can show these lines here. Show these lines here. And then you can adjust the rest of this. For example, there is a slight adjustment along this length here. Then there is a slight adjustment along this length here. Slight adjustment along this length here. Right. Then here as well. So now I have the basic, I have the fist, I have this basic ready. So let's see how this looks together. How this looks overall. Zooming out. I like this. See? Notice here. Notice already I can feel that angle. I can feel that perspective here. See the head, I can feel like the fist is pointed towards me, it's raised towards me, and I can feel this angle instantly. So the magic really comes with this. The exaggerated size here, the exaggerated size along here and the hole, and then this angle. See, typically we never see hands like this. Typically we always draw the hands in the opposite direction, right? If you were to draw the limbs, you'd say that this is the shape of the forearms, this is the wrist, and then this is the shape of the fist in whatever form you wish to hold. Like if you wish to hold like this is the shape. This is typically the shape of the arm with the elbows and the rest of the arms coming here. So this is typically the shape of the arms. But notice here immediately we have switched this position because this is perspective, this is bigger and the other is smaller. We have drawn this in a way that this side is bigger and the other side gets smaller. So naturally it creates that depth, that effect of depth in the drawing. So these are the small tricks that we can use. Like we can use the same for the right, and then you draw this also large, and overall the effect comes. So you can use the same for other body parts. However you wish to draw, you can draw. Use the same for the other body parts and a lot of other things you can add. Now let us add the small details here. For example, the gun. So it's time for me to draw the gun. Okay, I can see the fist is being held here, and then the trigger. These fingers are slightly projected outwards, and then it's bent towards the other side. Now drawing all this together in one go is a little challenging. So we simply show how this is projected outwards. We simply show how this is projected outwards, and I can show this trigger much bigger than I would have otherwise drawn. See, now this piece is very big. Again, continuing with that same depth, in order to create that same depth, continuing with this, and the shape is coming here. The rest of my gun isn't straight. I need to show this angle, like the same angle that I have for this arm. I will need to show this angle here for this gun as well. That is the only way I can get this right. See, now notice here, as for the gun, the hole right from where the bullet is going to come, I have made this big. And look at the shape. It's angled. So this angling plus this exaggerated shape. Now we are drawing at this angle because it's the only way I can feel this as a part of this whole continuum. Like if this is straight, if this is parallel and this is slanting, then I would feel like these two are in different planes altogether. You want to make it seem like it is part of one single plane. So we draw it like this. And the same goes for the other arm, the other firearm as well, where I draw this, and then I can show the this as coming here. Of course, the gun looks very complicated, but I'll just simplify this. I'll simplify this for you, and I'll just draw this one piece here. Otherwise, there's a lot of complications just for the gun. So I'll just simplify this. Okay, let's add the details here. There is this part that's coming. Okay. So now the shape is coming. So now it's just about drawing the details, drawing the rest of the details for this. Okay. So I have this, I have the gun. Well, So now this entire set, which is the most important piece of this drawing, the gun, the fist, this, now all of this is nearly done. We can just add the final touches for this here. So here, this is where the trigger of the gun is going to be, right? This is where the trigger of the gun is going to be. And right outside of that, I'm going to show a little bit of the, I'm going to show a little bit of the, little bit of the fingers, and that's it. Just a little bit of these fingers. Now we can adjust, we can correct this here. This is coming, so this detail is going to come here. Just notice the shape of these, like it's slightly skinny. You want to just that you want to show this. You can show how this is affected. You can add a few lines here. Now it's about, we are just going to slightly detail, right? Hello Rajesh, good morning. So today's prompt, see, just basically look at what we are drawing here. We are drawing a person who's holding a gun point at you, right? So when do you typically say oh? You say oh when something is troubling, when something is difficult, and when you messed up something. It can go from something very small, let's say like spilling your juice on your clean shirt, or you stepping on shit. Like you are parking your car, your shoes are neatly polished, and then straight away you step on a horse shit, right? So now you can always bring a funny instance to it, like you can show something like that. Here what I'm drawing is a person holding a gun straight at you. Now that is something that you certainly need to be worried about. You're like, oh shit, imagine someone holding a gun at you like this, right? So this is the angle that I'm bringing in. You can bring in your angle to this. So that is the only thing you need to know about the prompt. Okay, so now here I can just add these beads. So there are these small beads that are going to come here, small beads that are going to come here. And then as a part of this whole thing, the rest of the ornamentation for this, for example, so there are these, you can see these as part of the clothing itself. So just now adding these small details along the clothing, which is very easy, that you can very easily add. Just adding this here. Same thing, you can find the same thing along this one. So let's just add this here, right? Let's add this here, and this little bit of foldings that we are adding here. You can add this. Now most of this is under silhouette, but we'll just draw this. We are slowly reaching clarity. Now finally we'll draw the face, and that's when drawing the figure will be complete. But we are slowly reaching the clarity on what to draw, what not to draw. Okay. So that. So now we have most of the drawing ready. We have the gun, we have this. Yes, you can draw along. You can draw along, and every day you're being provided the opportunity to learn new drawing tips in addition to new ways of thinking. So now let's draw the face. Now I'm shifting my angle towards shifting my focus towards drawing the face. Okay. So most of this is done. Now it's just these details here. Let's first start with the collar. So I want to draw the collar. You can draw this collar that's here. You can add, like there are small details along here which you can add. Then there is this detail along the clothing which you can bring as well. Okay. So now what's remaining is this. So I can start off with the neck here, the neck forming this part. And for the rest of the facial features, start with the lines. Always when you're drawing face, there are major lines running through the face. There is a center line. Okay, now this line, don't draw it straight since the face is in an angle. We also bring the slight angle. There is a line that runs along the center of the face. Like we'll also position this slightly towards the left as as it's all because of the angle we are slanting this and positioning this slightly towards the left as the person is looking like that, like you want to create that angle as if he's looking. So just try to bring a coordination between this and this. You don't want to draw as if the gun is being held at one place and he's looking elsewhere. So see, the reason why we're doing this is we are seeing this person at this particular angle. See, now notice how by drawing this line, I can feel like this is part of this alignment. Imagine if instead of drawing the line here, I drew the line exactly along the center like this. You can see that something is already off, right? You can already feel like something is already off. Now, what is this? Why does this happen? That's because when I'm seeing like this, the person is turned towards me. The person is turned at a slight angle here. So I'm seeing more of this side of the person than that side. And because of these sides are slightly bigger, right? When you're looking at something at such an angle, such that, like let's just look at this camera itself. Like when I'm looking at it like this way, you can see that these sides are slightly more bigger and detailed than the other side. Now, whatever I'm thinking of as the center is also shifted. See, now look, I've positioned my fingers at the center, but it seems like it is slightly shifted towards the other side. Although I've held it at the center, because of the angle in which I'm holding, I can feel it. It looks as though that like it is more offset towards the other side. So it's the same logic that we are applying here. So instead of drawing at the center, because of the particular angle in which he is positioned, we are going to position this slightly towards the other side. Okay, we're positioning this slightly towards the side, and we are also bringing this angle here, this turn here. Bring this slight curvature and this. Then the next main line to do is the horizontal line. So now this runs through the center. And you don't want to bring any unnecessary slant here. This is going to be more or less straight, like unless his face is slanting, there will not be a lot of slant here. Just a slight angle we'll just bring in, because his face is slightly slanting. We'll bring a slight angle shift into this. I mean, not perfectly horizontal. If I were to draw this perfectly horizontal, again it would be off. So this is the challenge when you're drawing things that are at an angle. Always there is a challenge that you're facing here. So you're drawing two lines at the center. After drawing these two lines at the center, just note if this looks right. If this looks right, okay, it does seem right. Then the next part is then I can start by drawing the details here. So there is a headgear, the bandana that I can add. Then the ears. So the bandana, I can add this. I can draw this here. There's a hair that's coming here. So you can start by adding these details here. This is coming here. So you can add the small details for this. Tie these. You can just really tie. Can tie these, and then also show a little bit of the hair. So there is some hair that you can show on the outside here. Some hair you can add here. See, notice that this is still part of, I mean, all of the bandana what you're tying, it has to be part of the head, right? I mean, you cannot tie bandana outside of the head. So these are small nuances that you want to capture, and we'll draw these. We'll draw the hair here. We'll draw this here, coming here. And let's draw the nose. So always when I'm drawing the face, I prefer to start with the nose. The nose is a central element that I can very easily place. So now I have this line. This line is where the eyes are going to come. The next line that I'll be drawing is between the eyes and the chin. Just find the center position and mark that. Mark that. And that will be the center between the eyes and the chin, where the nose is going to come. Now between the nose and this chin, again you can draw one more line. That is where the lips are going to come. Okay. So here, let's position the nose here. He's got very rough features, and they are not that difficult to draw. I mean, people with soft features are harder to draw. With such rough features, it's actually easy to draw. Like, I mean, the shapes are very well defined, and you can draw this here. As for the eyes, I can show how the eyes are going to come here. You can show the eyes. Sorry about that. Okay, so we'll just draw the shape for these eyes for now. Same for this side as well. Whatever you're drawing, try to make it symmetric. So you draw this eyebrow here, one more eyebrow you draw here. So now we're positioning this eyes here. You can just put this iris here to just get this exact depth and sense of where this is going to come. Adjust this angle, rest of the cheeks. It'll take a little bit of skill to correct, to exactly draw this one. Because, what do you say? When you're drawing a face, at the end of the day, it depends more on the sketching skill that you have. A lot of that depends upon the sketching skill more than anything. More than any technique that I can share, like unlike the gun, the fist, and this, like most of these I can share the technique and you can just look and draw. But when you're drawing the eyes and this, there are small nuances. When you're drawing the features of the face, there are small nuances, and those can only be drawn and looked and drawn. Like only direct skill is needed there. So beyond any technique, remember that getting the face exactly the way it is also a matter of skill. Now, don't be disheartened if you cannot get the face correct. See, remember my word. I'm saying skill, not talent. So, if you're not happy with the way your faces are turning out right now, it just means that you need more practice. That's it. I do not mean that you do not have it and you do not have the capability to draw it at all. It just means that you will need more practice. By the way, a person is looking like a Captain Jack Sparrow. So I can adjust this, I can correct this. I'm just making this face. So it's very skinny face, right? These people hardly eat anything. So here the beard, the rest of the beard and all this is going to come here. So now this line that we drew between the nose and this chin, it's not the center line of the lips, it's the lower line of the lips. So this is where the lips end. So now above this is where the rest of the lips are going to come. Okay. So the line that I draw, this is the lower line for the lips. So basically, when you're drawing the face, there are few lines horizontally. One line is the line that runs along the eyes, okay, which we spoke about. Then the next line is a line that runs along the nose, so that comes in between the eyes and the chin. The eye line is at the center, like from here till here. At the center is where the eye line is going to be. Between the eyes and the chin is the nose. Between the nose and this is the lower line for the lips. So now above this, you have to add the details for the upper lips. Here the upper lips are fairly detailed, and let's draw that out. Okay. Looks badass. Yes, exactly. Yeah. Okay, so now we're drawing the details along the face. You can draw these lines here. Now he looks complete. You can add the beards. The rest of the beard is going to come here. Part of this dress you'll see is concealed by the dress here, and that's completely all right. Part of his beard, part of his face will be concealed by the dress, and that's okay. Okay, just show a little bit of these ears as well. And there you go. So with this, we have completed a badass cowboy. It really looks like a comic art, is it not? You guys should be proud. You guys should be proud that you stayed along with me and you drew this. It isn't an easy drawing to make, right? This certainly is not an easy drawing to make. But you guys stayed put, you guys stayed with me, and there you go. We have this. So now, of course, there are the remaining part, which is mostly about inking, right? The rest of the drawing is about how well you ink, other details that you're going to manage, put into this, and a lot of other and a lot of that stuff. So this we have the sketch ready. Now let's take the pen. Let's take the pen and let's ink. Let's ink this together. These morning practices are really a great exercise for me as well, because right now I'm you know I'm having a lot of difficulty with the coughing, and I wouldn't have woken up. I would have just been lazy. I would have slept more. I would have wanted to sleep more. But this is keeping me in check. This is keeping me accountable. And after October, I'm certainly going to miss this. I wish to bring this back. I wish to continue this in some form or the other. So now let's ink, let's detail, let's ink here. So let's start inking with the gun and the fist itself. Okay. Okay. Let's start by inking these parts itself. Exactly. A lot of this is about patience, resilience, and having that control over your lines as you're drawing this. So there are these details along the gun, which we'll try and bring it here. So let's slowly detail this here. Then there is this trigger that I want to draw. Okay. So drawing this, we're adjusting this. And there are a lot of details that we can add into this. Lots and lots of details we can add. We can add into this here. It's fine Saturday morning, and what a beginning that we are having, right? A totally badass start to the day. Now let's add these details along the fist here. See, notice the sharp turn. So my hands, the pen has to move that way, so I can capture the sharpness of these features. Let's outline the clothing here. Adding this line here. See, it's that continuous pulling of the lines that is needed. Right? You're continuously just pulling the lines. Pay full attention as you're drawing this one, as you're pulling this. Pay full attention on this one. Just carefully. And sometimes these run over another. Right? It's not like all of them are perfectly and parallelly stacked. Adding these outlines here. Let's add the same kind of outlines for this as well. Right? And similarly for this portion, as I'm drawing this, I can add the ornamentation. There is this small cuts that are part of this costume. I can add that as well. And I can add this. Okay. Then there is this fist. Beyond the fist, there are these. So that I can draw these beads here. Small movements. And when you're drawing this, I mean, adjust the grip accordingly when you're drawing this. Adjust the grip to can get to this size. See, we're adding these cuts here. Okay. Let's add these here for the clothing as well. Just slightly pulling the lines. Maybe we can use a lighter pen for this purpose. But right now we are just outlining here. We are just outlining, not getting too much into all the details. So now I move into drawing the face. As a lot of the features inside the face requires a much finer detailing, and I'll immediately use a lighter pen. So when I'm drawing the features such as the eyes and the nose, I'm immediately switching to lighter pen. So far I was using a 0.1 pen, now I'm immediately switching to 005 pen, and this helps me draw out the inner features of the face very well. Then there are this beard and other features which we'll just etch for now. By etching I meant just mark. Again, small details along the face and for the beard, which I can just simply mark. Stay resilient. It's at this stage most of the time that we tend to lose focus, right? We tend to lose our focus on what's at sight. Starting these features for the face, and finally we have the eyes. So finally have the eyes which we want to detail. Final details, I'm just going to move on to the eyes. Starting these eyebrows, which are a very unique feature in themselves. Just quickly, let's mark the eyes. So it follows this particular shape, right? It follows this particular shape. And we're quickly going to mark this one. And that's it. Drawing is complete. Let's zoom out and see how this looks. Personal experience. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Vipin. Thanks for suggestion. There you go. There's your drawing. See, of course, now we can detail in more into this. Okay, we can detail in more even on this headgear itself. We can detail more on the face. There are more scratches. There are more tape. There are more areas which we can darken. More areas to shade. Like on the fist too, we can detail all this. Then we can shade here. We can cross hatch here. There are numerous details that we can add. For example, just along this fist itself, just along this itself, I can show these lines here. I can mark these lines here, and that will just help me show the, that will help me get the shape better, right? Just for this fist, just for this itself, I can mark like this. I can place these lines here, and there are a lot of details that I can put. For the face, there are innumerable details that I can put in the form of scratches, in the form of scars. I can draw the mustache, right? There are many details that you can put. For the gun, for the fist, you can detail the each of these finger areas. You can detail the wrinkles here. You can detail the folds here. So there are numerous things that you can do on this drawing. But of course, doing all that together will take a lot of time, and as it gets impractical for a morning session, since our aim here is to just quit, and I would have ideally liked it to end by 1 hour. We already taken a lot of time. I'm ending the session for now. Feel free to detail. You can detail along here. You can detail along the arms. Apply the lessons that we learned. The gun, the fist, face, the bandana. A lot of details that you can put in here. So just put them, go fearless, apply them. You have the basic sketch ready. And yes, that's about it. So here, today was the third last day of October, day 29, and it is oh. So we did a badass gunman today. So now what's for day 30? What's for day 31? 2 more days to go, and let's see. Join me live tomorrow morning as well, as we go ahead, as we continue with this streak, and as we finish, as we conclude our Inktober challenge. Take care, everyone. I wish you all the best. Have a wonderful day ahead, and take care. See you again tomorrow. See you again next day.